This brings me to the second issue, which is whether MPs on leave of absence should have their allowance withheld. On this, it's important to appreciate that there are two material differences between leave of absence and suspension. First, leave of absence in and of itself does not imply any wrongdoing, as it does not function as a penalty, unlike suspension, which operates as a sanction or penalty. MPs may apply for leave of absence for a variety of reasons which have nothing to do with wrongdoing, for example, due to illness, overseas travel, or other exigencies. Second, unlike suspension, leave of absence is not a matter for the House. In a situation where an MP is under investigation, he or she cannot be put on leave of absence by Parliament. The MP can apply for leave of absence on his or her own accord or be required by the party to take leave of absence. Whether or not the party requires the MP to take leave of absence will depend on the circumstances of each case. These two material differences have a bearing on how the question of an MP's allowance should be dealt with if the MP is under investigation and is subsequently charged or convicted. Given that leave of absence is not an indication of wrongdoing or a sanction, it would not, as a general rule, be correct to withhold the MP's allowance while he or she is on leave of absence. If the House were to withhold the MP's pay pending the investigations or the outcome of the case, we would encounter the same problem that arises for suspension. The House would be prejudging the issue. If the MP is placed on leave of absence and is subsequently charged or convicted, it would be the party's responsibility to ensure that the MP pays back the allowance received during this period if that is the right thing to do in the circumstances. In the present case, Mr. Iswaran volunteered to pay back his allowance after he resigned and before his trial, so the question did not arise. Each case will depend on the facts and circumstances and on what is the right and fair thing to do in each situation. Mr. Speaker,